What's going on, guys? If you're watching this video, it's most likely because you have a SeaDoo GTI 130 or a SeaDoo Spark 60 and you want to increase the horsepower to the factory limits of a SeaDoo Spark 90 and a SeaDoo GTI 170. This is not a tune. This is simply running the ROM for the higher horsepower variant of the model that you have. And the reason that works is because the SeaDoo Spark 60 is actually a SeaDoo Spark 90. It's the Rotax 900 engine. It's just been detuned to 60 horsepower. And the SeaDoo GTI 130 is just running a Rotax 170 engine. It's a 1630. It's tuned to 170 horsepower, but detuned to 130 horsepower for the GTI 130. This will work for the 2017 to current SeaDoo Sparks, and then 2020 and up SeaDoo GTIs. Basically any SeaDoo GTI with a 1630 engine. The process is very simple. I'm going to walk you through it now. You will need to have the latest version of Buds, that's version 2, with a mechatronic license. It cannot be the dealer level, technician level license. It has to be the highest level, the mechatronic, in order to make this change. If you do not have the mechatronic license, or if you don't even have the MPI interface, there are a few online vendors that will ship you a rental unit, and they will make the change for you for a small fee. But assuming you already have the interface, this is how you're going to make those changes. So first thing you want to do is open up Buds, have it connected to your vehicle. Make sure all of your modules are checking in clean here. But more importantly, you want to check your battery voltage. Make sure your battery's charged, or even better, put your battery on a charger when you're doing this, because if the battery dies and the ECU shuts off as you're making the change, you can cause irreversible damage. Aside from that, you want to go to the Summary tab, click on the vehicle category, and then under Summary in Identification, you're going to see a 4-digit vehicle model number. Now this 10RD is for my 2024 SeaDoo RXTX. It's a 325, but the interface here looks the same for everything. So let's just assume that we want to change in either SeaDoo GTI 130 or Spark. What we need to do is just reference this number here, this model number. Write this down somewhere. You're going to need this if you ever want to go back to the factory setup. If you don't keep track of it, you can easily find it online, but it's just easy to have it handy just in case you ever need to roll back. So once you have this saved somewhere, you want to go to your browser and go to epc.brp.com. This is BRP's electronic parts catalog. And we're going to scroll down to SeaDoo here. We'll go ahead and click on that. Go on Watercraft. Now when you're doing this, you need to keep as much details aligned with your models you can. So if you have a 2021, you want to go into the 2021 category. You can't jump years. So let's just assume that I have a 2022 SeaDoo GTI 130 and I want to make it the 170. So we'll go ahead and click on the GTI series here. And you'll see there's a few categories. Now I'll say this right up. The SeaDoo GTI 90 cannot be changed to a higher horsepower using the factory ROM. In order to tune that, in order to make a change there, you would have to have a tune. This will only work for the GTI 130. The GTI 90 is actually a separate engine. It's running the same engine as the SeaDoo Spark, which is a 90 horsepower engine. So this, in a factory sense, is already maxed out. But for this, we're just going to assume we're doing a GTI 130 to 170. So since we're going to a GTI 170, we obviously want to click on GTI 170. And then you'll see the first column here, or the first box, is model number. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And this is where you need to kind of pay attention. There's a bunch of model numbers in here. We just need to look for the category that matches us. So I'm in North America, so I'm obviously only going to look at the North American categories. Let's assume I have a GTI that has sound. So for me, I would look through here. Okay, this North America, this one does not have sound. That's international. This has nothing. This is international. Here we go. GTI 170 horsepower with sound. It's in North America. So this is the model code that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And then we go back to buds here. And then we highlight this category and we hit play. Mine's grayed out because I don't have my ski connected. But when you click play, a new dialog box is going to open asking you to input the new model number that you want to use. And then you just paste in the new model number and then click save. It's going to flash the ski, it's going to make some changes, and then the ECU will reset. Finding the model number is probably the hardest part here. So let's just do another example. We'll do one for a SeaDoo Spark. So we'll go back to watercraft here. Let's do an older one. We'll do a 2017 SeaDoo Spark. So we're going to go into the Spark category here. And there's far more options here because there's quite a few variants of the SeaDoo Spark. But it's the same process. We're just going to go into the model numbers category here. And you can see, there is a whole range of options. So let's say that I have a SeaDoo Spark 60, so it's the low output, but it's the 3-up, and I'm in North America. With the SeaDoo Spark, it doesn't tell you the horsepower, it just tells you the displacement and whether it's high output or not. So you'll notice here, this says 903, that's the standard. So we want to look for one that says HO, which is high output. Yeah, so you'll see these here. So let's say that let's scroll down until I find one that matches the one I have. Again, same thing in North America. I have a 3-up, so these are all 2-ups. And for those of you who don't know, 2-up versus 3-up is just basically how many people the sea can seat. Okay, here we go. All right, so this matches my category. I don't remember if I said sound or not, but for this example, we just have a base model SeaDoo Spark 3-up that's 60 horsepower. This is the model number that I would use, 62HJ. The color does not matter. It's really just the features, whether or not it has IBR, whether or not it's a 2-up or 3-up, and the country that you're in. The color does not matter. Just when you're reading these descriptions to find the model number that's applicable to you, just make sure you're reading the descriptions and finding whatever describes the ski that you currently have. All you are changing is this category here. You want to go from a standard 903 to a HO or high output. So if I had a SeaDoo Spark and I was doing that, this is the model number that I would copy. Go back to buds here. We would highlight this category. Click on the play button. The dialog box would appear asking what I want to make the new model number. Paste in the new model number for the Spark with the 90 horsepower, and then save. When it's finished flashing, it's going to give you a green box, and it says, the model number changed successfully or whatever. After it's done, I highly recommend you just disconnect the MPI interface, restart the ski, reopen buds, and then scan. Let it do its scan again, and just make sure that model number's stuck. Sometimes it doesn't. If it didn't, just reapply it. It'll always grab by the second time. I think it's only missed for me, 1 or 2 times, but just double check it in case it doesn't stick. Aside from that, that's pretty much all there is to it. Like I said earlier, you have to have the mechatronic level, license level for buds. You have to have the MPI interface. I'm in the southeast region of Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia. So if anybody is looking to have this done and they want this service, let me know. I could do it for you. If not, just like I mentioned earlier, there's a ton of companies that will send you a rental unit, and then they will just make the changes for you. Super easy. If you guys have any questions, just let me know.